Good afternoon. I'm Pam, and this is my husband, Scott. We are parents of 2 children. We had one that graduated in 2014, Alexander, and we currently have a senior here, Carter. They began St. Joseph's in the 6th grade, and I teach at Malden High School, and my husband is an architect at Craig Alden and Davis. When we started this process of looking at St. Joe's and made the decision to come here, we were asked lots of questions by family and friends, and then, we asked our own selves questions. So I feel like right now you're asking yourself a lot of questions. So we're going to answer those questions hopefully for you today. The first question that I was asked repeatedly was, why would a public school teacher send her child to a private Catholic school? I have taught public school for 26 years at a school that I think is probably the best public high school in the state of South Carolina. My husband has served on the board of a public charter school. He designs public schools. He was the PTA president at Sarah Collins Elementary School, another public school. He's a judge for the Greenville County School Teacher of the Year. So people asked us, what were you thinking? And did I mention we're not Catholic? So what inspired us to send our children here? When our son Alexander was in the 4th grade, we started the process of looking at middle schools. He was shy. He was very impatient with people who didn't want to learn. So we asked ourselves, how's he going to do in a large middle school, especially in a situation where classes may not be leveled and people were not interested in learning like he was. We also had read a lot about how important middle school curriculum is to helping develop critical thinking skills. So we decided that personal love of learning he had and we had, that our best fit might be here at St. Joe's. So here began our journey.
People would come up to us and say, your children are not going to be exposed to diverse cultures. Doesn't that concern you? Well, take a school tour, visit a sporting event, or explore the website. You'll likely be surprised. We recently volunteered for a Spirit Week event where we worked the registration table. I could not spell any of the names. We kept asking ourselves, where are the Joneses and the Smiths? Our boys have friends from all over with incredible backgrounds and experiences. You'll hear a multitude of accents around the school. Some may even be from Pickens. How much diversity can you ask for? People would also come up to us and say, you're not Catholic. Are you not concerned about what your children will be learning? Well, we're Methodist. And we'd heard this quite frequently from our Southern Baptist family members. They would actually whisper it. Like we're making some mistake. I still don't know where that comes from. But many of the dinner conversations at our house have been about Catholicism and our beliefs. Our children have been exposed to many ideas and have been encouraged to debate them as well. We have found the religion classes to be an opportunity to not only learn about Catholicism, but to better understand our own faith. We'll have to admit that sometimes at the dinner table, when we found out our boys made better than their Catholic buddies on our religion test, there have been some high fives and fist bumps.
Another question that we got, and I bet you're concerned with, and these young ladies also addressed, was, are you concerned about the workload and rigor at St. Joe's, and is this going to cause your child stress? Yes, the workload's more. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I'm a teacher. The workload is more. Our public elementary school did a fantastic job preparing our child for rigor. I wanted that to continue. I wanted people to push my children. Yes, we've heard other parents complain, but we have never joined in that complaint. Our oldest son is a sophomore at Kenyon College in Ohio. It's one among the 25 best liberal arts colleges in the nation. It was extremely hard to get into. He told us recently that his first year, he has never read more in his life. I recently read his statistic paper. I got past the first paragraph and gave up because I had no idea what that was about. And he constantly gives the credit to these guys over here for the success he's had at St. Joe's. Thank you very much. Another question is, in such a small school, are you not worried about your student will not have as many academic and extracurricular activities? Well, to me, this was the silliest question, because then I was going, you have not investigated that website if you don't know how many activities there are here. Our sons have gotten to take as many AP courses as they like, and many times we thought they took too many. If all goes well, Carter, our senior, will graduate with 8 college credits. We hope all goes well. There are tons of extracurricular activities. Us Powells, we do not sing, we do not have theater skills, but our boys have learned to appreciate it because many of their friends do. And here at St. Joseph's, athletes go to the theater and the artists go to the ball games. All activities are encouraged. Now, this is the one I know the budget people are thinking about. Can we afford this? Scott's father asked this to us repeatedly. I still think he wonders sometimes. He was an auto mechanic, sent his children to public school, sent his children to public universities, and he wondered why we were paying for something we could get for free. Well, in their formative years, for our children, we read to them, we exposed them to all kinds of extracurricular activities that encourage education. So why would I stop that when they started middle school? I wanted them to be exposed to rigor. I did not want an easy A. We wanted them to have writing projects. We wanted them to learn to love to read the classics. I wanted them to write and write and write. I wanted them to have projects that required them to have critical thinking skills. Can we afford it? Maybe not. But what is the best investment you can do with your money? And for us, that was our children.
Probably because I coached my kids in athletics. I was one that it always seemed to me was asked this, but people would say, you know, you're going to a small school. What about the athletic program? Are your kids going to be able to have a chance to compete competitively in it or at the next level? Well, honestly, I'll tell you that athletics was not one of our considerations. If they could play sport in the sports program, that would be great, but we surely did not choose the school based on athletics. I'll tell you, 2 years ago, I got to watch both of my boys play for the Upper State Basketball Championship at the Bon Secure Wellness Center. Seeing both of my boys on the court playing at such a high level in such a wonderful venue is a memory that I'll cherish forever. Yesterday, Carter, our youngest son, won his 4th state championship. It happened to be at the cross-country meet in Columbia. Our oldest son now plays college basketball. So, you dads out there, we do pretty well at sports here in St. Joe's. Balancing sports and the demanding academics was and is a challenge. So, what does it look like on any given night at our house? Well, there's a game or practice, come home, have supper, and they hit the books. Yes, sometimes the nights are late, but please ask Carter, who's here today. You won't miss him. He's a 6'6" blonde kid. Ask him if he regrets having as much free time to watch TV or play video games. I assure you he does not. He'll say, well, all my friends are doing it too. As a parent, it sure is nice when a teenager says, all my friends are doing it too, and they're referring to sports and academics. St. Joe's has helped him learn to manage his time wisely and to work cooperatively with other students. Their teachers are supportive of their activities because the teachers are often at those activities too. Now, as a family, you have a big decision to make. We certainly ask our boys their opinion, but ultimately the decision is the parents. We have friends whose children were concerned about wearing school uniforms or how they would measure up academically. Well, I'll tell you, our boys actually liked the school uniforms because they didn't have to think about what they're going to wear to school. We also wondered how our children would measure up academically, but knew they needed to be challenged. If we're not going to challenge our kids as teenagers, how do we know how well they're going to be able to compete beyond high school? I'm going to close by sharing a recent conversation we had that pretty much sums up our experience at St. Joe's. In early August, we took Carter on a college visit to Yale University. After spending the entire morning touring the campus and learning about the programs, we had lunch in an outdoor cafe, and we asked Carter if he could see himself on this campus. Carter, being Carter, says he was not really that impressed. We told him, Carter, you're a senior, you're fixing to be a senior. It's really time to get serious and think about where you would like to apply. A few seconds later, Carter looked up. He had tears in his eyes. And he said, I'd rather stay at St. Joe's. Can they not just start a college?